order, please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Ms. Elcha?
Here.
Mr. Lindemann?
Here.
Mr. Ramos?
Here.
Mr. Burrow?
Here. Good morning, board members, and thanks for being here again. We have some things that are time sensitive, especially as they relate to the construction at the high school. And we need to address those so that the administration can move forward. Do we have anybody that wants to address the board?
No, sir.
Item 2, discussion and possible adoption of resolution approving change orders and authorization related to existing contract for new space at Douglas High School as to contractor and architect. Ms. Samaniego, let me, well, actually, Mr. Soto, let me let you give kind of some preliminary discussion on that and maybe recap that for the board.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, as you remember, the whole project of the new construction at the high school, we're still going. The School Facilities Board gave us up to June 30th to encumber everything. What that means is we need to have everything in place in order for us to continue getting the reimbursement. The encumbrance is about, again, June 30th. We want to make sure that we have the funds, enough funds on the right purchase orders per se. So we have an existing PO with Adelson and Peterson, and we have an existing PO with Sketch Architecture, and all of the other POs that we have used, to purchase furniture and fixed assets and equipment. With this, we want to make sure that the board approves the additional work that needs to be done there, and we can move monies to the Adelson and Peterson purchase order in order to continue. Again, the encumbrance means that's what it means, that we have to have the funds in the appropriate places, which means the POs. We can continue with the project past June 30th, July 1st. Whenever they're finished, we're gonna submit all of the invoices and get reimbursed from them. So again, the goal is, what the School Facilities Board wants is for us to have everything encumbered before June 30th. And I can tell you that this is the only piece that we need. We stopped purchasing equipment some time ago in order for us to get the reimbursements needed from them. But this is the only piece that we need to address to continue on with the project.
Ms. Samaniego, is there anything you want to add
Yes,
before we do a
so
motion?
even before that, I want you to have a little bit more in-depth understanding. Because you may ask, why are we still addressing like more monies? So the total amount of the project was funded at X dollars. The project was done. Any remaining monies that we have that are not utilized go back to the School Facilities Board. So the remaining funds that we are dealing with right now is 1.3 million.
For the construction,
For the
yes,
yes.
1.2.
So the School Facilities Board has graciously extended the time frame for us to still spend that money. So if we still have, even after this adoption, let's say there's $300,000 left with everything that we're doing, it goes back to the School Facilities Board. So we're coming to you today for that remaining 1.3 so that we utilize as much of it as possible and take advantage of it, because that was money awarded to the project. And that the extra funding came in after we had started the project. If you recall, they only gave us
16 million.
yeah, 16 million, and then they gave us another chunk of money. And so that's why we're coming here today. It's a remaining use of that money for the things that are listed in your background information. And so we have reviewed everything with our attorney. He is on standby for board if we need to go into an executive session and you need to ask any questions of him. Our attorney made sure that the scope and sequence of the work that is still remaining is still part of the original APN contract. And so he reviewed the RFP, he reviewed the information from Sketch Architecture, and he's the one that gave us the language and gave us the resolution, and that's what you would need to do, is make this, adopt the resolution, which is approving the change orders in order for us to spend the rest of this money, as much as the money that we
Yeah.
can.
Is there anything else you want to add before I
No.
get a motion?
That's it.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution for discussion.
I move to approve the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Ms. Salchow. Members of the board, any questions, discussion regarding any of that? Mr. Lindeman.
I just had one quick question. When I was looking at the background information, it said that everything would be completed by September 1st or something like that. Well, school starts earlier. Will that interfere?
Hopefully, yes, and as you know, with the history of this project, I mean, it's been quite some time. The scope of work shouldn't be as detailed, obviously, and it's not. We're hoping that we're gonna have to sit down and prioritize what's that we want. Not that something is more important than the other one, but the fencing to me is priority. And that's one of the things that I want them to address right away. And then the additional offices, like in the cafeteria offices, that can be manageable in a way that, okay, school started, but it's not
Students.
really needed, you know, for stuff like that. But we're hoping that they will be done by then or before that.
And sometimes, Mr. Lindeman, they will, as in the past, you know, they would either work on the weekends, or obviously the building of the fence
After hours.
is something that will hopefully be done, you know, when non-school hours are or non-school time. And as Mr. Soto said, they work around student schedules.
And of course, that brings to mind the contingency plans for monsoon delays, because that's coming too.
Yes.
Do we
As
have the
always.
plans, or do they have the plans?
Well, they know because they've been here quite a few years, so they've experienced those. So that's what I'm saying. I want to attack the fencing right away, which is outside. The building of the new offices are inside the cafeteria, but still, it will cause issues with delivering of supplies and construction items and stuff like that. But yeah,
And so what we will do on our end, as soon as you either approve or not the resolution, then we then sit down with our architect, who's going to be the middleman again for the remaining and kind of project planning, and that's when we're gonna address, okay, what's our timeframe, considering monsoon, considering students start school at this time, and so forth. So we'll have those meetings
Okay.
as soon as this gets approved.
Thank you.
Anybody else, members of the board?
I have a
Mr.
couple.
Smith.
When looking at the background information, looking at the proposal from the A&P Construction, it's saying the amount, I guess, of the change order is just over 1 million. You guys were saying it was 1.2 or 1.3, and the architect at the very bottom is listing the increase as 2.4. Why
Right.
do we have these discrepancies?
First of all, the 1.02, a little bit over a million from Adelson and Peterson, that's what they're projecting, you know, to the cost of what their assignment is.
Okay,
I want to have some kind of cushion in case, you know,
okay,
prices fluctuate
Overrun, got
or
that.
things that we need to add or whatever, we have a cushion there.
okay.
The proposal from the architect, if you recall at the beginning, we had some money extra for furniture and equipment. They were under the assumption that we had 2.4 million, right? But we went ahead and purchased a lot more stuff that the high school needed in terms of IT, in terms of stuff for ESS.
Science classrooms.
Science classrooms, virtual classrooms, and stuff like that. So that remaining amount shrunk. So now they don't have, or we don't have 2.4 million to spend. So I can tell you that with the addition of this and with all of the stuff that we have purchased so far, there's probably going to be a remaining balance, obviously, but I want to be cautious enough to have enough on that Adelson and Peterson contract that in case that we need to add something or revise, amend something within there, that we have enough.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Alchow?
I really don't. I think everything's been self-explanatory in looking at the background and what you
Okay.
brought today.
Mr. Linderman, anything else?
thank
Mr.
you.
Ramos, anything regarding that? Anything else you want to add before we call for the question?
No.
Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcho?
Yes,
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes, item 2B, discussion action on the approval of revising the athletic secretary position and job description. This is part of the ongoing conversation regarding the athletic department and some of the discussion we had last board meeting regarding some questions that were asked by board members on the specific duties and the duties of the athletic director specifically. And this is a major component of that conversation. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Samaniego.
Yes, so Mrs. Cox had a desk audit, and I gave you the background information there of the athletic secretary. And so this position is being recommended to change the title from athletic secretary to athletics coordinator, which at one point it used to be an athletics coordinator, but a previous athletic director wanted to change it, and so that was changed back in like 2019. So with the desk audit, the complexity of the athletics program, and that this person really assists the athletic director, we're now changing it to athletic coordinator. It is being at a different level in the pay scale, which relates to the change in salary, and we've done a desk audit, so the proposed level that this position will be at will be category 7. And the existing person in that position is going from 1719 to 1819.
Mr. Lindeman,
Move to approve.
is there a second?
second.
By Ms. Salchow. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcho?
Yes,
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes, item C, discussion action pursuant to policy BGF to temporarily suspend policy BGB, requiring 2 readings of the proposed policies prior to approval of the adoption in order to approve policy FF, which is naming facilities, immediately upon first reading. Ms. Samaniego.
So we have the naming facilities policy, and it was an existing policy, but we have really added some language that makes it more clear for us and in the process and in how we address when maybe a community member would like to propose a name change to a building or to a school facility, or even to an activity, such as one we discussed a while back, like the softball tournament. So this gives us parameters that we can follow clearly, and this is a recommendation, and we sat down with Mr. Bahrain and went over the language already, so.
Entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
second.
By Ms. Salchow. Discussion.
I just had one quick question. Did we have a previous policy saying that, and then what were the changes that were made now?
So it's on the background, so the main things that it just said, in naming facilities, the district will consider names derived from significant geographic locations, historical events, events of community significance, well as worthy deceased individuals. And then there were 2 guidelines, and it said, which have made unique contributions to the district and have been deceased. That was the original one.
That was it. That was the whole
So we
policy.
just added a lot more on the time sensitivity, the participation, accomplishments, and what this policy applies to. It's school buildings, admin buildings, gymnasiums, stadiums, athletic fields, playgrounds, district programs, ceremonies, athletic events. So it just guides us a little bit more. It's more clear
Okay.
and detailed.
More criteria
Mhm.
for the consideration. Mr. Smith, any questions, comments regarding that? Ms. Salchow?
No,
Mr. Lindeman, anything
No,
else?
that's fine.
Mr. Romo? Just a quick comment. She alluded to a conversation this board had about a year ago regarding an event that was named unilaterally by a staff member. And so I think that the policy that was originally adopted in 2012 was in effect at that time, the one that she just mentioned. And so I would think that the administration will address that specific issue without the board having to take specific action on that, because first of all, it did not comply with the policy, and that in itself is enough to have the administration look into what happened and act accordingly. All right? So we have a motion on the floor?
Yes, sir.
Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Alcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Breen?
Yes, item 3, executive session. The governing board may vote to convene into executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03, subsection A, number 1, for the following personnel matter: to discuss Mr. Soto, Chief Financial and Operations Officer. Entertain a motion to do that?
Move to enter into executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Ms. Salchow. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Alcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Breen?
Yes. And we'll stay here. We're going to adjourn the executive session, and we're back in open session. And we're on item 5, entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Mr.
Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned.